are listening to Nocturnal Frequency Radio, hosted by Steve Jr. and his satanic assistant, Alex Houdini, both of whom can't go into churches without vomiting.
Well, hello there. How are you guys doing?
What's going on?
Wait a sec. Do we have like a what Max Headroom little moment there with Gord there for a sec?
We did.
Did you see that?
It's the demons have come to collect.
What happening?
Totally retro flashback right there.
Thanks everybody for tuning in and joining us here on Nocturnal Frequency Radio, live on the New Visions Radio Network, and of course simulcasting on our YouTube channel, Twitch, and Facebook. So yeah, tonight we've got our good friends, Dr. Damon Gord.
Yeah, good evening. That was happening.
And and Mr. Justin Villarreal. So how you guys doing tonight?
Not too bad. Enjoying the wonderful season before it ends.
I know, man. It's just flying by. It's just like, wait a sec.
And the kids already want Christmas stuff. It's already Christmas theme. I'm like, no, not yet. Not yet. We haven't got through Thanksgiving, so
Yeah, you guys haven't had your Thanksgiving. We've had ours, but
that's right.
You haven't had yours. That's why it's so funny when I hear that. Oh, we haven't had Thanksgiving yet. What? What are you talking about?
Yeah, we still got the whole month.
yeah. Oh, crazy. Yeah, it's just flying by. This week is this coming week is wow, Halloween.
Yeah.
The final countdown.
The final countdown.
The final countdown. It's scary, but I always say that Halloween tends to creep past the 31st for me, for a little while anyways, and yeah, I'll stick to my guns on that. I put it out there, because I've been looking around for props for my, doing my decorating for the front yard for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed that, places like Spirit, there's no real good places anymore for good Halloween props. They're all like cheesy generic shit.
Yeah, all you see is like the same thing you could find anywhere, pretty much. Maybe Home Depot has some surprise ones here and there.
They have had, actually I haven't even gone into Home Depot, to be honest, and usually I do, because they do have.
I'm always at Home Depot.
What's that?
I said I'm always at Home Depot.
Yeah, well, I'm there, but not looking for Halloween decorations, but I'm looking for a new toilet. So
could probably blowing that one up before.
Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna need it after this, right?
We'll leave it at
that. There isn't a toilet that'll hold. But yeah, it just right. It's funny because I was on your turf there, Justin, last beginning of this week. Actually, I was down south of the border, just in Lewiston, New York, which is not too far from Buffalo.
Oh yeah, that is a little farther away from me, but still. Yeah.
Beautiful area. Love it. It's when you really want to get into the mood, into the fall mood, it's an incredible place to go. I love it. Outside of my other place that I like going to is Frankenmuth. I like, but this is a little closer. And dude, I honestly feel for you. I can't believe the fucking prices there.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, how everything's gone up. Yeah.
Oh my! Food is like literally your food prices are on par with ours now. And for us, we got to pay exchange on top of that.
Okay. Yeah.
But you guys,
well, it's been a while, but it's the smaller shops that are really taking the hit, and I'll go to a chain here and there for certain things, the obvious fast food chains. But when it comes down to specific things, like I'm an Italian beef guy, so I got to go.
I need to talk to you then, Justin.
Well, I'm telling you, there's not many places. It's always the mom and pop shops where I get the really good Italian beefs. And either way, long story. It's basically I'm going to a little shop. We call it the Hot Dog Monster, but it's Norms, and it's technically down the road from the house in Gurnee, and it was $17 for a Italian beef and regular fries or decorations fries. Yes.
Just make sure the turd is still floating around in there.
Yeah.
But yes, almost $20 for an Italian, and this is just generic Italian beef, nothing spectacular. Sorry, Norms out there, it's good stuff still, but most definitely for the price of what I paid, I've had way better, and it scared me a little bit because I mean $20 for a nice Italian beef that's not great. That's the sign of the end times, I tell you.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I've been going down there for God knows how long, and I even remember when the last time when our dollar was at par with the American dollar, and it was like a free for all, man. I'm like, holy shit, because the prices were half of what we were paying here,
Mm-hmm.
and our dollar was at par. It was like, wow, oh my God, I was like a kid in a candy store. But now those days are long gone. But what I was getting at, like, I went to before coming home, we stopped in at a spirit Halloween store, and I walk in there and I'm like, where are the props? There's no props here. What? It's just costumes. What the hell, man? What's going? And I asked the lady at the front. I go, do you not carry props here anymore? She's like, oh, no. This isn't a prop store. This is, you got to go to Cheektowaga or whatever. I don't know, some other place. And I'm like, I don't have time to go to Cheektowaga to grab some props, man. I'm literally heading home. This sucks.
Hey, just use your toilet, like Kevin said.
Yeah, I know. That's a great, yeah, I should, huh? Put one of those retro fuzzy carpet things on the rim.
Fuck yeah. I don't know what the fuck was going through people's minds when they did that.
I know,
Man.
it's like the fucking fuzzy pom balls that they used to put in the car windows at the top, man. 70s fashion, man. You gotta love it, right? But yeah, it's really hard to find because I know Alex and I don't know, Gord, if you're familiar with it, but we used to go to a place called the Amazing Party Store, and the props were amazing there. The guy would bring in some of the greatest props. Some of my best props were from that store, and now that store has gone through so many transitions, and now it's just like, it's, you know what it is, it might as well be a spirit Halloween now.
Jeez.
It just it's horrible because they moved.
I used to love just going there and just go walk around and look at all the animatronics they had set up.
Yeah, that's what I mean, man. It was great. It was great. And just, but you don't find, it's hard to find that now.
Yeah. Everything now has become so oversaturated. When you look at it, like, it was hard to find Ghostbuster stuff. Now it's Ghostbuster stuff everywhere. It's the same Ghostbuster stuff you can find, which I would love to get some Stay Puft Marshmallow Man stuff, but in the same, and I'm glad I can access it. But before, it was hard to find those certain things, and now just everything is a freaking, my favorite, of course, you're always going to find, is The Nightmare Before Christmas.
You find that everywhere now, man. Everywhere.
Yeah. It's like every little thing is Nightmare Before, and it wasn't like that before. That thing is 20-something years old, and we're just seeing more and more of that than I've ever seen it before. And it's like, just take it over. Like, I just see tall Jack skeletons you could just buy at Home Depot literally now. Before, you never seen that now, but it's the same stuff over and over again. Or my favorite was the werewolf.
Oh yeah. Well, the Home Depot had a really cool one a couple years ago, and I snagged the last one because it was half off. I'm like, I'm grabbing this. I think it was like regularly like $300, and it was just like this devil dude with his pitchfork and his horns, and his eyes would light up red, and like it was like literally 6 feet tall. And I'm like, hey, this is pretty damn cool. $110. I'm gonna grab this, man. You know, just poor guy's seen better days now, though. But that's what I mean. A lot of these props, they last a couple years, and that's it. You
Well,
gotta
is
fix
the
them.
fabric?
Huh?
Is the fabric and all those different things that are just like falling off, or what happened?
The mechanics are starting to wear, and just his voice is getting a little like it used to be, like deep and how dare you, right now it's like how dare you. So
But, there's one prop that'll never wear out.
Yeah.
Dr. Demon Gord on your front lawn.
Oh, it's entertaining every single year.
Yeah. He could scare the living shit out of those kids, and I'm sure he'd love doing it.
And they work cheap.
He's cheap.
I get to keep 50% of the candy.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, it's too bad. Yeah, there is some really some interesting prop stuff out there for Halloween, but far and few between. And yeah, like you said, Justin, a lot of it's oversaturated. Just
same stuff.
I mean, we lost Gord. We lost Gord. Hopefully, we get him back. I was just going to tell him that. What's that?
I said resurrect them.
Yeah. I was going to tell him that there was a prop for Terrifier. There he is.
Oh man, I just saw Terrifier 2.
Don't.
Yeah. Don't. No spoilers, but
okay, good stuff.
But we'll kind of dive into it a little bit because I just rewatched Terrifier the other night.
This one's much better.
Much better.
Yeah. So is this one gorier, or is the first one gorier? This one's a lot gorier.
I want to say this one's a lot gorier, and the story is much better.
Yeah.
Or it could be the same, to be honest. It could be on par the same, but the way things are done is much more imaginative in this one, and I think just the sound, the sounds, the cinematography, the kind of throwback to 80s slasher flicks, all that really just ties nicely into this, and of course the excessive violence, which is what not necessarily I love in horror movies, but I love in this type of horror movie, and it brings it.
you gotta love the advertising. People are puking in the theater.
I mean, I could see some aspects why people would, it's pretty gross. I mean, it's on par with Mexican cartel videos. That's in some aspect.
Oh my god.
So I got to give it an A+ in there.
That's certainly a good comparison there, Justin.
Yeah, trust me, I know my videos. Actually, do some things that I would see in Mexican cartel videos, which I give it some pretty high praise for. But if I could, it would be more or less Terrifier 2, Battle Angel would be like the sub name, because it really plays into a good story. Well, an entertaining story. Not saying that's Academy Award winning, but I was thoroughly entertained compared to a lot of horror movies this season, and more.
Which one? Sorry, which one?
Terrifier 2.
Terrifier 2.
Yeah, a lot of horror movies this year. Terrifier 2 pretty much knocked right on the top of my list. I was disappointed with Hellraiser, which it's a big.
A lot of people were.
Yeah. It was pretty bland, if I say so. What I wanted in Terrifier, gore-wise, I didn't get in the Hellraiser. Like, I should have got what I wanted, in that.
And Hellraiser needs that. I'm sorry, Hellraiser. When you think of the original Hellraiser, if it's not gory, come on.
And it's not. I should say there's a gritty, a grittiness, a sliminess to Hellraiser overall. Like, you could pick any of the movies, any one of them. And even though they may suck in their production and story at times, their tone of the Cenobites, even as bad as Revelations is, if anyone knows about that Hellraiser, where they completely change Doug Bradley and this guy is, I forget the actor's name, but he's a horrible replacement. but it's gritty, it's gory. The flesh looks like it's real in a sense, and although they did a very artistic and interesting aspect for the Cenobites in this one, it didn't hit me as it should. And there's times, man, this is like a shoot. This is a good old review. At times, it felt like they're wearing spandex. You could tell from that and the overlay of the costume. And if it wasn't for the lighting, which it's a bland lighting, like all bland movies, everything's all bland to me now. Even action movies, it's to hide the CGI. I know that's what it's really there for. The way they saturate everything now. But there was things I liked, and there was most definitely things I didn't like that were on the top of that. And I would say the original, the originals, at least the first two, I enjoy them all. I think I enjoy all story wise up to 4. I think 4 is like one of my favorites. The what you call it? We could call it Hellraiser in space, but it's Hellraiser Bloodlines.
Yeah,
And
Bloodline.
that's one of my favorites when it comes to story and expanding things. And there's some sprinkled in there, you could like. I mean, I'm sorry I pointed out Revelations, which was considered bad, but it's good. It's a good story.
Wasn't there like a cameo by Jason Voorhees in that one?
No,
sorry. I'm thinking of Jason X. Sorry, no, I'm just
no.
kidding.
Well, yeah, there was Jason X. Yeah, we did have Jason X.
And what was it? Cronenberg made a little. Was it Cronenberg that made an appearance in that?
No.
What am I thinking of?
No. Let's. I want whatever you're taking. No, if you're talking about it, it's actually Nightbreed. David Cronenberg was the psychiatrist in Nightbreed, and so
yeah. But I think I'm almost certain he made a little appearance in Jason X though too.
Oh, he might have. I don't remember.
I could be wrong, but I'm almost. I think he did.
Yeah. Which is funny because Jason X was actually a Mad TV sketch years before. It's so funny they did that, and it became a movie, which is actually a decent Jason movie. It's not as bad as people say it is.
It's not the worst movie.
No, it's actually, it's entertaining. I mean, they're all entertaining, but I think when it comes to those movies or anything to horror, it's where you can go with the imagination to it. And in a way, I'm kind of glad, because where else would you go with Jason? Why? I mean, and then why not? Why not? Jason in space, which technically doesn't really follow the lore in a sense because they had to retcon it a bunch of times. But yeah, he's an unstoppable killer. So what would he do? Be in space at least?
Well, he's stoppable now because he's in limbo, production limbo, and while they duke it out behind the scenes, it's like, get it over and done with, and let's get a new Friday. Let's get a fresh Friday out there, a good one.
Have you not seen that rumor?
Sorry?
Apparently there is a rumor that the 13th is being made next year.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard the TV series is coming out.
Oh, wow.
Crystal Lake, and I've heard all sorts of stupid shit.
You remember that Friday the 13th, the series? You remember that?
Oh, that was totally different, but yeah, that was a great show.
Yeah. You don't even see shows like that anymore either.
No, you don't.
But that was a really good show.
Shot in Canada, that's why.
A lot of things are in Canada that that are actually.
Come on, there's some really good Canadian TV shows. Continuum.
I don't think I watched Continuum.
Alex, you watched it, didn't you?
I've watched it, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
good series. Check it out, Justin, if you get a chance.
Yeah. What's it on? What service?
I don't know what it's
on.
Now.
I think it's on Prime. Let me just double check. Yeah, it might be.
Prime, I'll get it. Otherwise, I'll pirate it. I have.
Well, look at Grimm was shot out west. Grimm was shot in BC.
Yeah, a lot of things. I know.
Supernatural.
Yes.
Was shot out in BC.
The X-Men movies are mostly in Canada, filmed in Canada.
Yeah.
What is it? A tax write-off or something?
It is on Prime, Justin.
Prime. All right, I'll take a look. Continue.
Yeah, it's a pretty good show, man. I enjoyed it. I was actually pissed that they canned it. I'm like, fuck, you can't do that. Did you watch it, Gord?
Watch what?
Continuum.
No.
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 No, I did not. I don't even know what it's about.
Oh, well, speaking of Jason, I forgot what I'm wearing. This is actually a Jason, Freddy versus Jason right here.
Oh yeah, there you go.
It's kind of hard to see, of course, but I ain't gonna get up in mine. I'll call for war right now.
Oh man,
You need to do a Jason versus Aliens.
Yeah. I think
it's
that's,
not far fetched. Believe it. You know what? It's like the internet. It's there somewhere.
it's in a comic book form. There's no doubt
It's
about
there
that.
somewhere.
Aliens versus everything has happened so far.
Yeah, aliens versus everything. It's just, oh, come on.
Yeah. Well, I gotta admit, the aliens, the xenomorphs are pretty scary when it comes to types of things that could be lurking around in space, like giant space bugs like that are pretty scary. And at least the first, Alien, Ridley Scott's first one had that tone, and of course we love Alien 2 for its many reasons, but to kind of have that stuck in a confined spaces and everything, it really brought it out in the first movie for sure. And just having the design of those things are pretty creepy overall. I would be scared of that shit.
Yeah, it's definitely that time of the year, man, when they try to push out some of the flicks that
Yeah.
not necessarily are the best, but Halloween Ends.
Yeah. Oh, you saw who else saw that?
Gord, you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
Gord saw it right there.
Yeah, that guy.
I actually was entertained by it as well, more so than Halloween Kills. I liked Halloween Ends.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God, you're like the first person
I
I've heard say that.
Probably because I'm so far removed from the Halloween series that everything was just. I mean, come on now. We got Busta Rhymes and Halloween. No, that's not Halloween 6. That's Halloween Resurrection or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then they retconned the story like 3 different times. And then we had 2 remakes. Isn't there 2 remakes now of the Halloween series?
Yep.
Or no.
Well,
there's Rob Zombie's
Rob
and then
Zombie's
this one for the
re-envisioned.
trilogy. So yeah, 2 more remakes.
And Halloween, this latest is
trilogy, right?
proper sequels to the first one.
Yes, that's right. And I thought this one compared to the previous one where she was going. I mean, it was a nice take. And I think that's what makes these movies a little better. Not saying I did totally like that movie, but I like this story better because if they were just kept with what the premise is, of course I'm not going to spoil it if people didn't see it, but there's a nice twist that I wish continued, and I would have been fine with that than the way they kind of ended it, which was kind of cool to see at the same time, but also a little corny and kind of hollow. But when you're right, Steve, when it's technically a direct sequel from the first one, not the second. No, the first one, right?
It's a direct sequel, yeah. So basically, forget Halloween 2.
Yeah, because that's retcon, right? Isn't that technically the retcon?
They totally switched the premise for this, and they in quotations consider them the real sequel to the first one. Why? Because John Carpenter is directly involved. I don't know. No, whatever.
Well, I mean, because it did. The story itself has gone kind of wonky in order to get Michael Myers. There was a cult, if I remember correctly.
The cult,
then, this whole bloodline and then whatnot. So when you cut off the rest of those from the first one, it makes it good. Again, if people do watch from the first to these movies, it makes sense when you're trying to follow that logic of that movie. Especially how the town plays out in both these movies. I think this one by far was as corny as it was nice to see it kind of conclude some things, given the history, like what would, in a sense, when you're looking at this last trilogy, it's what would really happen in real life if Michael Myers existed, but also a proper continuation to what happened from the first movie. And and this one by far I was surprised by it. I was like, all right, I could dig this, but yeah, I could see why people wouldn't like it for sure. I just wish the twist continued instead of going the route they went.
Speaking of horror movies, and a lot of horror movies, they have locations that are like burned into your into your brain, into your thought patterns with some of them. You know, the Michael Myers house and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house. You know, and then you know you think of places that you've been to yourself, and you sit there and you know after being in that location and going, that place would make a good horror movie
Oh yeah.
location. You know, one place I'm thinking about, Gord, is the farmhouse that you guys used to investigate.
That would have been fabulous. Definitely a ghost story.
You know,
Intended, but like a like a mama kind of evil ghost thing.
what?
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, you know what? Have you ever been to a place that you would consider literally creeped you right out?
Freaked me out, yes. Creeped me out, no.
Creeped you out? Yes. Creeped you out? No. What?
Freaked them out.
Oh,
Freaked
freaked
me
them
out.
out.
Yeah.
What do
When
you
I went
mean?
to Century Manor, you know that
Okay.
whole third eye thing, blah blah blah. Well, I was very, very skeptical at the time, but I went in with an open mind, and in certain rooms, I'd get, like a thought or something, and I'd write it down. And then when the mission was over, we're all outside, and then we started comparing notes from our team to the other team, and the psychic lady and my notes were almost identical.
Oh wow.
That was kind of freaky. But
And
I've
for
never honestly been scared or creeped out.
and for those who don't really know too much about Century Manor,
Well, it used to be a psychiatric hospital located in Hamilton, Ontario, and then it got shut down and it became an abandoned building. Some say it's haunted by former patients. So, but it was a very hard location to get into. So I think that's one of the reasons it's so big in our myth around here.
it's literally impossible to get into.
Yeah, you would think that.
Is
I mean,
it still active?
sorry?
Is it active as in like at least part of the buildings?
No,
Okay.
no. I mean, they're talking. I think, Gord, they're talking about opening it back up, from what I understand. But
It's kind of like a tourist thing.
yeah, but from what I understand, they don't want to open it up right now because of the condition of it.
Oh, it was wrecked when we were there.
Yeah, it's been wrecked for a while. But when you, Justin, when you see this place, just from the outside of it, it is
Really?
really creepy. It's just a creepy ass place. And you know, when you look at the history, you can understand why. It just the essence, it just oozes of something is not right here.
Creepy. I think Waverly was like that driving up.
Oh yeah, driving up to Waverly was insane.
Seriously.
That
It's such a power. What's that?
No, go ahead.
Oh, such a feeling, just the way it looks, the way it's placed and everything. It's almost feels like it's an open field on its own where the trees are surrounded, around it, and it's just like, here it is, all for you. And the way the architecture is, I mean, it kind of reminded me of some nightmares I've had, just certain places, and that by far would fit that for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I mean, driving up that road and, it totally entombed by trees. And then all of a sudden it opens up. And as soon as it opens up, there it is, just sitting there.
Yep.
And you're like, whoa. And even inside the place, I mean, because effectively there is electricity in the place, but for the most part on the main level, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And I think it's the top two floors that have windows.
Yeah.
The top floors have no. It's all open air.
Yeah, it's all open balcony, which was pretty cool. But I wonder how that fared during the winter times. I don't know how. Actually, I don't know how Kentucky has a harsh winter like that. But
They it gets cold to them. It gets cold,
yeah,
but I don't think it gets entirely like insane like we do up here.
yeah. For us, you have feet of snow if that was the case on those balconies.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be like the Overlook Hotel.
Yes, and close. Yeah, close to that. Yeah. Jesus.
Although it's not a hotel. It might be a hotel to some, but to others.
Yeah.
How about you, Alex? What would you say, the Whitby or like?
Probably the Whitby. I haven't really investigated too many places anyway, but that's
Yeah,
one
but
of the.
not necessarily investigating,
Come
but the
on.
places that you've been to. You don't necessarily have to have been.
No, but just but okay. Even with that in mind, if just places I've been to, Whitby would still be right up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's an abandoned mental asylum. You know what I mean? It's one of those things, and it was like as soon as you go into any one of the buildings, it looks like literally a scene out of a fucking horror movie because you got shit strewn all over the floor, paint peeling off the walls, graffiti everywhere, beer bottles on the ground, everything.
Love it. I'm getting a boner just thinking about that.
Yeah, I know. I kind of figured you'd get a boner. That's like your Viagra, man.
No.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think? Do you think if a person was to walk into one of these locations, A, knowing the history of it firsthand, or B, not knowing the backstory to this place, which scenario do you think would play out more horrifying?
I think not knowing personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you know, you kind of go in there with some level of expectation. You can also prepare yourself ahead of time as well. Whereas if you go into a place where you know nothing about what's going on, maybe just heard one thing about the place, I think it'd be more freaky.
Dinkum wants to know what I'm drinking. Eggnog. It does look like eggnog, though, huh? Oh God. But yeah, I mean, when you look at some of these places that have this long laundry list of crazy shit that's happened there.
Oh, I mean, I've been to places that had
Yeah.
crazy shit that happened, or I've been involved with the crazy shit that's happened. That's straight up horror movie stuff, I mean, by far, I think Maryville Academy would be one straight out. Well, I can 3 of them off the top of my head. I could tell you right now. Maryville would be one, and that was at least a decade ago. We're walking into an abandoned. It was a home for kids, but it was many things over the years, and you had to get through it. And there was there's a pool area, and it's separated, almost like a classrooms in a sense. And we're going down a hallway, and people were claiming that they heard possibly footsteps up on the second floor. And we get down one corner, we move away, and there's literally a bloody footprint, and you see it dragging and the trail going around a corner. And as soon as the tension's building, we're about to go, we get a phone call from one of my wonderful friends that were outside, and was like, "We got to get going. We think there's people outside." And they got scared and everything, so we decided to head back, and we're literally right about to go to our car to see what popped out for us. Nothing did, of course, when we're leaving, but that scene alone was just enough to be like, what? Who does what here? It could be anything, of course, but obviously someone with a bloody foot was in this building dragging their foot on the floor, and that was that was pretty creepy. And I think one of my favorites is looking for a haunted silo I found off the internet out in the country of Bartlett, Illinois.
Bartlett, Illinois.
Yep, Bartlett, Illinois, and it's also this particular area in the city alone. A lot of NBA players and such will move into this area, so we're not just.
Is this the one we were talking about the last time you were on the show too?
Maybe, because there's a couple of silo ones, but most definitely this one where we were looking for the silo, and after the last time we were able to find it, we went back, and creepy farmland out partially in the middle of nowhere. There's people chanting in a silo. We never made it towards the silo enough to find out who was in there or whatnot, but they were chanting in unison in a country, in a farmland, in a silo, on cornfields. And yeah, so it was true, And I think by far, I think this one tops. We got a couple, but I could go on forever talking about some of my crazy connections to certain stories. But this one's my favorite. It's they consider it Wadsworth, Illinois, but I believe it's called Old. It's still considered Old Mill Creek, and this is St. Pat's Cemetery. And I've been going. There's all sorts of stories from occult activity, which I collected from different people throughout the years about these various things, and I got so involved that I had someone. There's a couple things that make it scary. There was a couple dead bodies found there in the back of the woods, and one time that I went, the police did come because someone somewhere figured that we were back there. It's a popular place, of course, for young teenagers who know about the stories, and it's kind of died down a little bit. But most definitely someone's watching the place, and they called the cops, and I found out that they found a homeless man dead back there. They didn't exactly say what he died from, but he was back there. But the story is about Bloody Mary. That's what makes it.
Okay.
Yeah. So her name was Mary Worth, and the town, that's why Wadsworth comes into play. It's the city next to it, and maybe, city changes have come up. Gurney, from that point, which is where I've been at, they had the Underground Railroad run through there all the way up into Canada, literally Wisconsin. Canada follows this area. And the story goes is that she was taking the slaves, going through the Underground Railroad and doing sacrifices on them. The town found out, and they had an execution. And the story goes that she was either buried around the area or around the property. And real stuff happened where the houses that they developed in this area where supposedly she was buried next to the cemetery. The cemetery is not important. It's the property behind the cemetery that's important. And which a friend of mine that's a realtor can't find who the owner of this property is. And he's like, he himself doesn't want to dig further because he doesn't know who, but they tried to appraise the property, and that's how he was able to find out that there was some further information on what the value of the property was, but it's not listed. So someone owns that property but does not want to be known unless you know the hoops you want to get to. So all this stuff has happened. Supposedly, houses were developed about here in the early 90s or whatever, and they were burnt down mysteriously. And this happened. This for sure happened. The Underground Railroad in this area did happen. There's a lot of stories of certain native tribes, which I want to say it was the Iroquois. I can't remember. But we found possible mounds, and there's stories of those mounds in that area. This whole area has stories in itself of, and this particular is kind of a well-off area. They own horses, huge property, and also parts of farmland. So anyways, I've been there numerous of times. I had friends, colleagues, I guess, that have written about this actually in books. Ursula Bielski has written about this, and I just so happened to be one of the people on MySpace at the time who was talking about it.
My what? What was it called?
MySpace.
I'm just kidding.
That's how And someone decided to make a fake account to contact me to tell me not to go back to the property. And through some internet sleuthing, I found out what possibly was connected, and it was someone who grew up in this particular area that was most definitely connected to this account and knew about the stories I was telling. Eventually, and I'm pretty sure this was a prank because of just, the fact that I talked about this particular area and my experience. I had more experiences there. Not necessarily experience that stuff happening to me, but just bits and pieces of stories and stuff like that. And someone decided to prank call me, and they went to the St. Pat's Church. The number was sent to there. I had actually police go and check it because they called me multiple times saying, help me, and was screaming in the phone. And I was like, I can't tell if this is real or not. And I don't want something to be connected to me. So I legitimately had non-emergency go get a hold of the number, because I ended up tracing it thanks to Google. That's how the power of internet was. And I told them, I'm getting this number from here, blah, blah, blah. And they went to go check, and no one was broke into the church at all, or at least what they saw. So most definitely someone either was from the church or the area, or used the number to prank me and to get me to call the police for this particular church. But yeah, I mean, just from that alone, and I've had stories of people talk about occult activity that's been going on back there, besides, of course, the dead bodies, which could be related. And there's a possible story of a serial killer that was running around at that time, which could be related to the stripper. It was a stripper that was found in the early 90s there. I believe she was beheaded. And I had a friend of mine who had a sister who was part of a coven who supposedly did some stuff back in those woods that I would love to.
Stuff.
Yeah.
I like the
Yeah,
word
I can't
stuff
think
in
that
the
would-
back of those woods.
I can't confirm it or deny it. So I'm involved. And I might have mentioned it before, so if you ever heard me talk about it. But most definitely some strange stuff has happened in those woods in good old northern Illinois, Lake County. And almost I could write a horror movie. I mean,
Well,
I have a comic book that I've been working on that's based off some of my stories too, that actually happened to me.
and that's a part of the lore with a lot of these haunted, supposedly haunted locations. That there's some occult or cult activity.
Oh yeah, my favorite.
Associated with them, ceremonies and sacrifices, and
Yeah.
I mean,
And we're talking about in the middle of nowhere. I'm
in the middle of nowhere.
Both these places are probably of a middle to upper class type of area, And I just want to point out, all my years of being involved with the paranormal and doing research, it's always the middle upper class to upper class that are involved with the occult or in these particular areas. That has never failed at all. And it's always someone, believe it or not, that's connected to people who know about the city, who are involved. It's weird. It's always that case. And I believe if any of one of you who are here watching it do a little research in your town, you might find such a cabal possibly that is operating within your town, and it wouldn't be surprising.
An evil cabal.
Yeah, it's never failed me, man. Seriously, and as no one wants to believe, let's just say demons don't exist or anything like that, which I'm not saying they do, and I'm not saying they don't. But most
you got a smile out of Dr. Demon Gord there.
I've never experienced them, but if they don't, the people who believe them are most definitely much more powerful and scarier than the demons themselves. Because look at what people do willingly for just Christian and Catholic beliefs. Imagine a straight up someone who sacrifices whatever. Well, look at this demon right here. That's my magic cat, my familiar right here. Found her in the ceiling.
He's a witch. Burn him.
Yeah. But yeah, imagine those people do exist out there, and they are possibly, no matter what you want to believe, are doing some weird stuff in their woods, and it's happening. I never would have believed I would hear chanting in a silo in the middle of a cornfield. Now it could be a bunch of kids. It could be, but again, it's still just interesting to hear. And I didn't sound like kids. It sounded like this was organized, that this has been done before, in unison, straight up a cult from the TV show, from a horror movie type chant. It was very creepy to hear it.
Gord, have you ever come across something like that?
No, not once ever.
No,
not at all.
You've never heard of any possible, hidden cults that carry out their secret ceremonies at some of these.
There's one in Burlington.
Well, we know that. I mean, it's not just in Burlington; it is actually worldwide.
And there's a Burlington in Wisconsin here that has interesting stories.
Oh, there you go.
It's a trend.
It's a trend. It's the evil cabal.
It might be. Yes.
But
I would love to be able to go into a scenario like you, Justin, where you go to a field and hear chanting coming out of like fucking silo or even just like the field itself.
Yeah, it's again, it still blows my. I wish I went further to investigate it, but again, the people were smart enough than me because I would have gone. Literally, I would have gone. I've been to places by myself that I would have gone to at least get closer to see what I could see in a silo, and who it was and what was going on. But they're like, let's get out of here. I do not want to find out what's going. I don't. And then one of my guys was he's straight up skeptic and he was like, I don't care. I just don't want to find out what's going on in there. And he was like, you and I may be able to hold someone up, but I don't know about everyone else. And we're in the middle of cornfield. And it's creepy. There's actually 2 pillars to a driveway, an old driveway you got to walk through that's overgrown. And eventually it goes into the cornfield. And you have to find an island of trees. I couldn't find this place before until a fall evening where the trees were gone and the moon literally, it was like freaking Indiana Jones. The moon had to be in the right position for it to be silhouetted back to me through the trees. And I'm leaving this place after like 2 or 3 times trying to find it with some people. And I'm like, holy crap, there's this like it had that whole persona about it, and that's why I just love that particular area. Now they developed it; it's developed, so nothing's probably gonna happen here.
There's a place. I actually got some pictures of it.
Mm-hmm.
That we used to hang around when we were, late teens, early 20s, in Wasaga Beach, and it was called the Hideaway Inn. And this inn, it was abandoned, and we're talking probably early 90s, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in an area that, look at what the hell's an inn doing here? It was right on Georgian Bay, but hidden, and the reason why it was Hideaway Inn, it literally was hidden at the end of the street, called Lakeshore, that basically ran along the lake, and there was nothing but cottages, seasonal cottages all the way down until a certain part of the road, and then nothing but forest, and then at the end, very end, here's this inn. And I remember going to this place at night, and the moon was bright. It was full. And first time I ever seen this place, it was just, hey, Leon, how are you? It was just really, really weird. I mean, creepy, walking down this road and then approaching this place. And here's this, typical inn. Still in pretty good shape. The sliding doors were still intact. Some of the windows were smashed and all that, and a little bit of graffiti here and there. But I mean, the curtains were white. They were flowing outside the door. It was just really creepy. And because they were white, they were flowing in the moonlight, and it was so eerie.
I love it.
I know. And I'm like, there's probably squatters in there. There's probably people living in this thing or something. I'm waiting for somebody to jump out, man. But nobody did. And anyways, I got some pictures from the daylight. Here's that. And this had like little cabins around.
Oh, wow. That sounds like something I went to.
Yeah. Honestly, it reminds me of something out of an 80s slasher flick. Like, I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. Here. You guys see that? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
It's got that old film feel too, as you're holding up that picture.
Well, yeah. This is a film.
Yep.
And here's one of the cabins, like on the property.
I love it.
I've seen this movie.
Huh?
I've seen this movie.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean, right? And
Oh yeah, that was the sequel.
yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the backside of the hotel and the end. You see the door wide open there.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then obviously you got Georgian Bays right there. Like it's right on the bay, right? And here's the front of the inn,
Nice, nice.
right? And just another shot of the cabin, one of the cabins, and then a further out shot of what you see when you approach driving down the road.
Oh, nice.
Right? So imagine going to this place at night, dark. Only the only light that shining was from the moon, and of course, if we had a couple flashlights or whatever. But obviously, you hear stories.
Yeah.
You hear stories. Oh, somebody was murdered in room 15. And that's why this place is closed. I mean, that's what we heard. We heard that there was a woman who was murdered, and this was after the hotel had closed, and somebody had broke into it, and they were using the one room, and somebody killed a woman there. And you're like, let's go to room 15 and check it out. And realistically, nothing ever happened there.
Yeah.
But this is, rumors, right? I mean, people go nuts with this shit, and people buy into it, obviously, because you're kids. You don't think about it. It just sounds cool.
Yeah.
And then, like any good horror movie, you go to room 15, and then shit starts going down. And realistically, nothing ever happened in room 15.
I know. That's most haunted spots for me.
No,
it reminds me of a story. It's we call it Sunnyside Asylum, and it's next to a place called Wooster Lake, and I think it's considered Round Lake, but it actually has some history connected to Kellogg, the guy from Kellogg cereal and everything, and he started a sanatorium here, which he bought later, but it was different things throughout a camp, sanatorium, and a few other things. And of course, we heard stories about it eventually. As far as I know, and I don't, one of these days, like everything else, I'm going to get the footage up, but I'm the only one that has like footage of this, whatever's left of this place.
Mm-hmm.
And we have it on camera too. And you're just like you're walking up to it, and we had to go through the dark, and it's in like a subdivision area, neighborhood. So of course we have to, be a little careful. And we walk up to a path, and we're like, I don't know where it's at. And, camera light, VHS style, creepy, found footage type stuff, which I got a movie I've been working on, hopefully, or been trying to put together that's called Found Footage. And just like this, made with a VHS camera. And there's a couple camcorders we have. And we walk up, and there's one of the bunkers with the beds you can see inside of it that was collapsed. And we're like, holy crap. And there's like a couple houses, and there's like a garage. And we go through the house, and of course it's spray painted and all that. Small, first level little ranch style house. And then we get to the garage, and it, God's creepy feel to it and everything. And there's a couple freezers in there. And I have this on camera. Opening it up, we're just looking around, all creepy and everything, and in one of the freezers is a bag of. It could be anything, because I didn't open up and taste it or test it, and it was a bag of blood, and I don't know what it was for, but there was a straight up bag of blood in this damn freezer from whatever happened. And so we ended up going through, and we're leaving, and the cops came, obviously, and they're like, no, kids are not supposed to go back there, blah blah and whatnot, which we had on.
But there's blood in the freezer.
We didn't tell them anything like that. When you think about it, we should have said something, because you never
You
never
never
know.
know. You never know.
But I'm sorry, whoever that disserviced. Yeah, but yeah, we have that on our camera. But it was interesting to find out the story about that, and then coming up trying to find out, and then later finding out it was connected to Kellogg. That he bought the place at some point with someone else. I think it was called the Fruitvale Society. There might have been a movie or something about. I can't remember, but and you look it up. It's Sunnyside. Either the Sunnyside Society or what, something close to that, and you'll find out more information. I might even find a link for it, but yeah. I
All
love those
right.
things.
We got to take a station identification for a New Visions radio network. We'll be right back here. Don't go anywhere, folks. You're watching here on YouTube, Nocturnal Frequency Radio. And if you guys have any stories or locations that you'd like to share with us, by all means, come on up, man. I mean, the link is posted. It's pinned to the top. If you want to share a story or two, or if you have a location that you want to tell us about, we'd love to hear it. But we'll be right back. Again, we have to do our station identification on New Visions Radio Network. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, folks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the ticket. Yeah.
And we're back. Oh, here you go. Terry, how you doing? We had to do station identification on the radio aspect, of course. We can't play any of the stuff here on YouTube because of copyright bullshit. So sorry about that, guys. We're back, though. Yeah. So anyways, back with the haunted locations. And okay, so let's kind of weed through this. You hear about places being haunted. In your opinion, and let me start with Gord, Dr. Demon Gord.
Dun, dun, dun.
What deems a location to be haunted or not? What do you consider? What aspects would you consider?
I think my
You know,
most basic but logical explanation would be a location where unexplained events happen on a semi-regular occurrence.
okay.
Right? So you're going in, like into a house or whatever, cups float across the room. It happens like 2 or 3 times a month. That's semi regular. That's unexplained why that is happening. I would call that haunted. Kind of like just embracing the word paranormal, where it means you can't explain it.
So I mean, when you see these videos on YouTube and other places of cups flying across the road, what do you immediately think?
Fake.
So then how do you justify it then?
You would have to
You-
actually feet on the ground. You'd
Feet on the
actually have to
ground,
have
you
someone
have
there
to
to witness.
visually see this stuff unfolding before your own eyes.
Yes. It's basically what we try to do now, except the problem is we don't scrutinize as much as we should.
Mm-hmm.
We have paranormal investigators.
You gotta love it, Terry. Oh, Terry. uh, so, what do you have anything to add to that, Justin?
I mean, I agree with the doc here. I mean,
The doc. I
Yeah.
love it.
Doc Brown. No, uh, be repeated, and we should be able to at least identify things on a constant basis, or at some sort of levels of understanding what's happening, and that's the only way. Besides any of that, yeah, there's we really don't know. It could be anything at that point. But tell me a place. Go at 7 o'clock p.m. or midnight or whatever, and you hear a howl of some sort or something like that, or some creepy laughing or something, and I'll totally be down to do it again. But so far I have not been able to experience things on a constant basis. It's always some random moment if it is.
That's part of the problem with the paranormal. You can't predict when it's going to happen.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And even to get to that point, we probably need more equipment and more data to even pinpoint what those things might be. Besides the normal things that we usually, that we've been using, but we barely have a basis on why we're using those things in the first place. But yeah, I mean, there's something out there, some sort of baseline to all of it. But yeah, I haven't, and we would
Well,
have to every day do the same experiment over and over for a year.
Alex, I told you something that's been happening at my house recently.
Yeah.
And it's happened a few times. I
Mhm.
mean, would you consider that a cause for concern?
I would consider that a cause to investigate.
Yeah.
I don't know about concern because you never know we don't know what it is that you're dealing with, right?
But I mean, I've tried to recreate it and I can't recreate it. It just baffles my mind how it's happening.
And your door doesn't seem to swing on its own. Like it's not on an
No.
angle or I mean, like I know I got a couple of doors on my upstairs floor where if you don't put a door jamb underneath, they'll swing shut. You know what I mean?
No, it's you close the door, it ain't opening. You literally have to turn the knob for it to open. Even if the wind is like, putting pressure on it, it'll
Yeah.
rock. You'll hear it rock, right? But
Mhm.
it won't open. And yeah, there's been a few times you've got up and the door's open.
Maybe it's your deceased cat.
Okay, could possibly be.
Yeah.
It's always a
Well,
a
what do you
thought,
guys
man.
think? What do you guys think is a catalyst to hauntings? or is there a catalyst?
I look at I've talked to you guys. I've told you about the things that have unfolded here that just don't make any sense. Like for instance, the time we came home and my neighbor, comes to the door. Are you guys just getting home? Yeah. We've been away for a few days. Oh, because last night my husband was over here banging on your door because it sounded like you're having a party and the music was like literally vibrating off the fucking off the wall. And I'm like, no, nobody's been here. And there was absolutely no evidence of anything being abnormal in the house. And I unplug shit, I unplug shit just in case, because if we're gone for a few days, I'll unplug certain things, and I just, I don't know what to say. And she literally was saying, it sounded like there was a party going on in the house. I go, is there any lights on? No. Was there any lights on? And I'm like, are you sure the music was coming from our house? Yep. Could hear it right through the wall, like right, I'm like, holy, okay, I don't know how to explain it.
And how long has this been happening?
It's been going on and on. Well, that only happened once. That I have I don't know if I can find it. I don't know where it is, but
Is ashes from a deceased person. In
yeah, I have this little pelican. I have this little pelican light, and it flips open, and it's got two LED lights. When you flip it open, it turns on, right? And it has a spring, so you really have to pry it open. And the thing hadn't been working for years. No, I don't have Alexa, Terry. So no, I don't have any of that shit in here. And the stereo downstairs was unplugged. So, but anyways, and you have to pry it open to turn it on. But it hadn't been working for years, and I had it up here in the studio, and we went away. It came home, and I came up here, and the light was on. It was open and it was on. I'm like, what the fuck? What the hell is going on?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any sense. Okay. And I closed it and I opened it again. It didn't come on. I'm like, okay, what the fuck? I mean, this was not working.
Mm-hmm.
It's still not working. How the hell? Just didn't make any sense. There was one time I've got a chest. You can see it just down there, a little army chest. And inside are a whole bunch of movies. And it used to be behind the door over here. And one day I came in here and the chest was open and the movies were on the desk. And I'm like, I go to my wife. I go, did you do this? She's like, no. Okay.
I think we need to investigate Steve's house.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand how that happened because I know it wasn't me that did it.
Have you noticed any time of year, anything?
No, no rhyme or reason.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing as far as I know that I've been able to pinpoint track. I think a lot of it has to do with, Alex and Gord know about the woodlot. And this parcel of land is in the same area.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the far corner of the parcel land. So I don't know.
What's the story of the woodlot?
Well, you're going to have to wait for that one.
Oh, great.
It's a documentary that we're working on right now.
Oh, okay.
But, I guess I could. I give you a little teaser on it. So it stems from a okay. So basically, do you remember Randonaught, right? You remember that, Justin?
Yep.
It pointed me to this woodlot around the corner for no given reason other than I went to this point of interest.
Mm-hmm.
It literally led me to guys where the pond is where Gord literally took a swim in. Right. It literally led me to that area, and at the time there was a whole bunch of tires, like a mound of old tires. And I'm like, hey, this is a pretty neat place. I've always wondered about this place, but I've never ventured into it until the Randonaught. And I'm like, okay, interesting. So I just, okay, what is it with this place? I want to know more. So I looked into it. There was some farms. There were some farms on the on like this big. It's a big parcel of land, right? And there was, I think, roughly about 4 or 5 farms, give or take, around the whole loop. And I'm like, okay, let's dig in a little bit more. And I found this old story on a web crawler, fucking an old message board from years ago. You remember Metacrawler?
No.
You remember the search engine Metacrawler? It's still around. This thing has been around for years. It's probably the first search engine I ever used. But anyways, I found this old because I was doing some searches on paranormal sort of aspects, and I put in the name of the woodlot. It's got a name, and I stumbled upon this little story. Hey, Mark One, how are you? This little just a little excerpt in a message board pertaining to paranormal or weird stories that had happened, experiences that had happened to you. And this guy wrote in on this message board about him driving home from work in the 70s along the road that where this woodlot is. And it was a stormy kind of night, and he's driving. There's a big cornfield, and he's not going too fast, and he notices what looks like a woman, and she's walking aimlessly in the rain in front of the cornfield. And he's like, I don't know, she kind of looks like she might need help or something. She looks like she's in distress. So he pulls over, stops the car, gets out of the car, and he's like, ma'am, are you okay? She never answered. She just kept walking. And, as he walked up to her, she walked into the cornfield and completely disappeared.
Jeez.
And I'm like, okay, that's fucked up. Just a weird little story. And then, so I started doing some more research, and I found some evidence of one of the farms that was there is no longer there. Years ago, had during a storm, I guess they were out tending to problems outside with the animals, and the wife had gone out, I guess, helping, secure the animals or whatever. And upon going back into the house, she was struck and killed by lightning.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, is there a possibility that these two things are linked?
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically what the documentary is kind of about.
And you got more info on both those cases?
Sorry?
You got more info on both those stories?
It's very vague, buddy. That's the thing. It's very vague trying to find anything about them.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even, and I wish I can't even find that message board thing anymore. I don't know. For the life of me, I wish I bookmarked it. I can't find it. I cannot find it. I search high and low, and I hopefully I'll find it again, but I cannot find it.
Maybe on the Wayback Machine they might have it.
Maybe have to dive into the to the dark web.
Yeah, the archive. Yeah, the dark web. That's where you hear real stories.
But anyways, I mean, is this particular parcel of land, because it was a huge parcel of land.
Mm-hmm.
It stretched, and is it possible that whatever's happening here somehow linked to that? I don't know. Am I bringing something home?
Sure.
Have I brought something home?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a possibility if you believe that. I've never been one to believe that kind of shit, but I mean, is it Gord? Do you think it's a possibility?
I have kind of had a weird experience with that. I'm not entirely convinced it's true. It might have been my imagination. I would say it's plausible at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, nobody wants to follow me home, so I'm good.
This is true. Alex is like the protector.
That's what I said. Alex needs to start up his own business. Ghost clearance.
Yeah.
For $49.95, we'll send Alex to your home.
No. 3 easy payments of $49.95.
Ooh,
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, guy. If anybody has a location that you'd like to share with us or a story, whatever, click the link and join us by all means, or just type it in the chat there.
Get it up.
We'd love to hear it and discuss it. So that'd be pretty cool. I mean, let's face it though. A lot of these places that are supposedly haunted aren't really haunted at all.
No.
More or less, propped up because of years of rumors and myths and lore and legends. And a lot of times what we hear on the back end are entirely different than what actually happened.
Like telephone.
Yeah. I mean, can you think of a location that's like that? I'd like to say a few, but without defamation. Yeah, I don't care. I mean,
a popular one here in my region done is the infamous Screaming Tunnel.
Oh, the Screaming
Tunnel.
Tunnel.
Apparently a young girl fell into the tunnel on fire and died. There actually is no documentation anywhere to validate this story at all. None. Nothing about fires, nothing about bodies, nothing about little girls, nothing.
Do you think a demon snatched her?
It's possible with the fire. You gotta watch out with the fire.
That's hellfire. It's a different kind of fire.
Yeah.
Right. It's blue, right?
Yeah.
But that's just one of those things that it's been synonymous with an urban legend here for at least 50, 60 years, just in this region alone. Everybody knows about it.
Everybody knows about this. Well, everybody here knows about the screens. It's like
the hook one. Do you guys got a hook story?
Oh, let's hear the hook story.
One's by Bachelor's Grove. There used to be a hook story.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, where people pulled in because you were able to drive into Bachelor's Grove to the cemetery, and of course you're out there trying to get your working on with your date and everything, spook her up, get some kisses in, and all of a sudden you hear a scratching on the roof, and good old man with the hook, kind of swings out, and then your wonderful date goes bye-bye. But I heard
that's like a legendary
seriously.
story.
Yeah. And you hear that almost ever. Or one of my favorites is the school bus.
The school bus, yeah.
The one
with the handprints.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we gotta have at least 2 stories here in Illinois that are like that school
You
bus.
hear about that so many. Again, and that's I guess that's more of like an urban legend,
Urban
really.
legend, but they go along because it plays along with those things,
Yeah.
setting up stories and so on. Because you don't, I mean, we don't see a lot of those stories now, but at a point
No.
they were, and they were part of, let's say, Shadowlands in a sense of putting on there what people supposedly heard and stuff.
That way. I don't know if do you guys remember that website?
Yeah, I think it's still up. I'm pretty
Is
sure
it
it's
still
up.
there? That was a kick-ass website. I
Yeah.
used to love that place.
That's how I found out about the silo was on Shadowlands. Just looking up stuff, and I was like, "Oh, check that out! Someone talked about this."
Fuck that
Yeah.
that thing. I found there was a what?
Sorry, I'm laughing at Terry's
Oh
comment.
yeah, I read that. Yeah. There was this actually a thing here, guys, here on Appleby Line about a mysterious place called Cinderim, or something. I don't know, but it's a cultural outdoor place, and people are saying that you could try to sneak in there at night, and literally be chased off by like these strange white vans,
Jeez.
unmarked vans, and all sorts of weird shit apparently
Let's
goes
go.
on in this. That's what I said, man. I mean, I actually drove in there one time during the day, and nothing really happened, but I mean, it looked like just a cultural center. I don't know. But hey, maybe there is something going on there. Who knows?
Well, I even have stories where some of the old people that I used to party with, some of the towns, at least up north, they're not huge, but they're big enough, but some of the stories that were related to, let's say, St. Pat's, were created by some old drinking crews that used to come to these places, and they literally either scared kids off and whatnot. And it's totally possible that even some of the occult stuff that I've heard could have been these guys setting things up to scare kids off. I even heard of one in some of the fields in near it's Antioch, Illinois, and we were joking around, and I
Say
found
that 5 times really quick.
Antioch, 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 Antioch,
Get it done!
biblical as well.
Biblical. Yeah.
But yeah, I found out one of the stories I heard of supposedly someone doing occult stuff in the woods was an old buddy of mine and his old buddies back in like the late 80s, pretty much partying back there and then leaving things around for other goofy teenagers to find, and they started little stories of occult activity in a set of woods, and it was just them partying and taking advantage of the local teens looking for adventure.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's another thing. A lot of this stuff is obviously made to scare people away. Frighten people away, and it's those thrill seekers that will go, screw that shit. I want to check this thing out.
Yeah.
So we should do a social experiment and just start a rumor, an urban legend about the certain location and see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, I already have done that.
Which one?
And it's actually working because it's working. Like I can't tell you
because it's working.
I can't tell you because then
Oh yeah,
it
would ruin the experiment.
It would ruin it. But I years ago I said something about a location, and now it's run like wildfire.
Can it be traced back to you?
No.
As that you started it?
No.
Huh.
No.
I like how he's proud of this too.
Well, because you know why? Because I want to prove that a lot of these places that people say are, they have, this paranormal sort of history to them, and all these paranormal sort of blah, 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 blah. And in most cases, it's just pure bullshit. Right?
Yes.
And I wanted to give it a try. And I remember this one location that we went to on pure just, hey, this is a cool place. Let's go here, check it out. I did a background check on it. Nothing. There was nothing, literally nothing about this place that would scream paranormal or haunting or anything like that. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to make something up.
Yeah.
Never went back and investigated it though, but I pushed it out years ago for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And people did pick up on it and actually started to build upon it with their experiences there.
That's the
Are you gonna some point come out clean and just to prove a point saying this is horse shit because I made it up?
Yeah,
On his
absolutely.
deathbed.
Absolutely. Sorry, what's that, Gord?
On his deathbed, it'll be his confession.
Yeah.
He was alive.
No, I hope. Well, absolutely, we'll say something. I have no problem.
Documentary. That should be a documentary, right there.
I really have no problem saying whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me because it's a point proven
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of the stuff that you see, that you hear, because and I know Alex is, will tell you, it's not regulated. There's no rules and regulations to follow with this, but there are ethics that people need to follow, but they don't follow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just another nail in the coffin, if you ask me, with a lot of the shit where investigating is just, a lot of it is pure bullshit.
Yeah, it really is, and especially from other teams or people involved, just literally making up stuff to feed a narrative in some sense, or
Yep.
In some cases where I found psychics saying, "Oh yes, I know there was this experience that happened in this house, and the homeowner will eat it up because it's just that fantastic and what they want to hear." And that's how much you can do it. But seriously, that would be an interesting paranormal documentary, and that's what I kind of feel a little bit of. I hope a season 3 comes of Hellier. I'm so
well, I know they're venturing into something else now, but
yes,
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do a third season of that or not.
Which is a cock tease for me, because then what was that all about? But again, that was my point. Maybe that's all part of the experiment too. Even though I know these.
Well,
But
yeah, Justin, them just as well as Greg, and what they were what they were before all this began.
Yeah,
what they and what the pranks and everything else that they pulled off.
Yeah, that's again that's in the discussion, that I'm coming up with. As much as I enjoy aspects of that show, I still wonder what's the experiment they're pulling, because to drag something out like that TV show Hellier, people look it up. It's done very well, and it accumulates everything about the paranormal world. But at the same time, the underlying story is what I'm interested in. It's like, so are there goblins? Is there an underground cult thing going on that the show insinuates? It doesn't necessarily insinuates, but the information that's being presented there has a lot of things going on.
Have you seen it, Gord?
Which?
Hillier.
No.
Oh, check him out.
Yeah,
check it out. Season 1 and season 2.
Yeah, by far best paranormal stuff out there at the moment.
Season 2 is probably the better season, but season 1 was pretty cool. But season 2 is probably the kicker.
Yeah, and again, is it part of the experiment they're pulling? Because
maybe
we don't know. You're right. They were kind of a joke thing. When I met those guys, we were teenagers. And here we are. I'm gonna be 39 in about a week. To be honest, I'm gonna be 39, and I know that they're serious, but they're also time they're a little jokey. But
yeah. What was the name of the group again? Ghost Hunters.
Ghost Hunters Inc. Ghost Hunters Inc.
Ghost Hunters Inc.
Just to make fun of ghost hunters. Essentially. Yeah. That's what they started off at. They pretty much made fun of ghost hunting culture. You know,
Well, look at before this when Greg and Dana did the whole Bigfoot hunting thing with
yeah.
that dude. What was his
Oh, I
name?
forgot his name too.
Oh
Yeah,
shit! Just there, in New York State.
Finding Bigfoot.
Yeah,
I believe his name.
yeah. And I remember when they were going out for the hunt, and the dude, I forget his name.
Yep,
Tom? Is it Tom? I think
maybe
it's
that sounds
Tom.
familiar. Yeah,
Tom brought a gun with him.
he's like, you
And they're
never.
like, what? Why do you have a gun? What? And he's like, are you serious? We're hunting Bigfoot. You
Yeah,
don't know what Bigfoot can do to you. You want to defend yourself.
yeah.
And they're like,
believe-
I don't even know how to shoot a gun.
Yeah.
You have a gun. You have a real gun.
Yeah.
It's like,
That was some great stuff.
oh
Seriously,
yeah, it's
better
hilarious.
documentaries. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And
again, the experiment with it. Even with that guy, I bought him. I bought that this guy believed what he was believing. I mean, the documentary was most definitely open for you to come to your own conclusion if this was real or not. But you never know.
I think the guy is serious. The guy is really serious about,
He did seem pretty serious.
But I mean, to you and I and anyone else would probably go, is this guy fucking for real? Is this guy for real?
Yeah.
Leave it up to you, man.
Yeah.
Would you go out hunting Bigfoot with him? You might think twice about it, but
I will. The weirder the better for me.
well, yeah, that's what I mean. It's intriguing.
Just stay behind him if he's got a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, would you guys go out hunting for Bigfoot?
Yeah.
I think so.
I've been wanting to in Central Illinois.
It would depend for me on the weather because I really
On the
don't. I honestly don't buy anything about Bigfoot. I just don't.
There's nothing about Bigfoot that you buy into at all.
It's like surely by now. We have drones, we have helicopters, we have infrared. We can't find an 8-foot tall ape. Come on now, seriously. It's almost as fabricated as the Loch Ness monster. Just no.
With enough beer in me, I would.
Okay, now Terry's got a point. There is beer, then maybe.
I love it, Terry. Yeah, I just, I don't know. I would give it a shot.
I totally would.
Something different. I mean, hey, why not?
Why not? Going into the deep woods. Just bring that deep woods deet with you, and you're all good.
Yeah, you got to make sure you have the deet. You don't want to go into those woods without the deet.
No,
not nowadays, man.
Oh my god.
You'll be coming out. I don't know.
A little more red.
Red. You'd have bullseyes plastered to you. Tick season. No, not ticks. Are they bad out your way, Justin?
Yeah, we can get ticks pretty bad out here. Actually, my uncle has Lyme disease.
Oh yeah, my niece too.
Yeah, I did not believe it was that bad until later in your life because your immune system is fighting it most of the time, from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
So as you get older, it gets worse.
Yeah,
it could cause issues.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't get rid of it.
Yeah, I didn't really believe. I mean, I believed it because it exists, but seeing someone go through it,
totally different story.
Yeah, of what they could do to their health. I mean, he's, fine, but it's something that has to work around with the rest of his life. Speaking of Bigfoot, I played a pretty cool game. It's called Horrified. I don't know if you
Horrified.
Yeah. You can look. There's a different versions, but this one has cryptids in it, and you could be you find Bigfoot, the Mothman. I think it's the Ozark Hauler, some ghost woman, and I forget which one more. But me and my friend, we just did it, and we did the Mothman and Bigfoot. And what you do is you have to find Bigfoot's footprints, and part of their action is to move Bigfoot or move Mothman or whoever you're looking for around the board. It's a board game, and once you find a footprint, you turn the footprints in. You collect points to turn the footprints into photos, and then once you complete the photo of Bigfoot, you finish that particular case of finding Bigfoot. And then Mothman, you have to trap them. So the board game is literally you doing things around a town and setting things up, or actually trying to get information or taking people to certain places, hoping that either Mothman or other characters don't kill or whatnot. But it was pretty fun to sit there and say, I'm hunting the Mothman right now. And I had to set up little traps and get my points ready to take them on, because he could totally kick your butt if you're not ready. But everything worked out. We set everything up, but I couldn't believe how much fun I had playing a cryptid game, or a game about cryptids, and it was called Horrified. And then I played another one that was called, I think it was Unhinged, and we played
Unhinged.
Yeah, Cobblestone and Fog, I think it was called.
Cobblestone and Fog.
And it's a skirmish game. So you could be many characters and there are many upgrades. But the one that we played, holy crap, this motherfucker, look at that. Man, now when I come up there, we're playing because I got to play, and every
You're gonna have to teach me because I bought this game and I haven't gotten a chance to play it.
You know, the funny thing is, that's what my friend, he says he barely got to play until me and him, we started hanging out again. You know, it's funny. We barely seen each other in almost a decade. And now that I'm in a city now, he's in among other friends, but we started to hang out more and we're playing games and stuff like that. And he's actually one of my old LCGHers that we've done some film stuff with. Mm-hmm. But he's like, I bought this game. I have no one to play with, and we whipped it out. And
you whipped it out, huh?
You whipped it out. You whipped it out. Yeah.
That's what happens when you have friends. I'm surprised Alex hasn't whipped it out.
Yeah.
Oh, who's to say he's not?
We still got time. But most definitely, it's a skirmish game.
If I whip it out, you'll be horrified.
When I moved there, I found out later that I moved into the devil's territory. I didn't think it was strange when a guy and his girlfriend was peeping from behind the door, which I found out later saying she's moving in. I didn't think it's strange because when you're moving into a new place, you know, people watching everything, especially if you're moving in the daytime. But what I did find strange is that they continue to peep and look and go into many various alias, you know, and as if they had something to hide. And so I said, well, they must be criminals, you know. Then I found out that they was very evil, you know. In this particular apartment, the thermostat controls the whole building. There was one thermostat, so I didn't know that. So I kept getting cold in my home. And when I inquired with the landlady, she told me it was on the third floor. And at the third floor was where this lady lived. And she told me that. And so every time I would go up there, when I get to my apartment, the heat would be off. So then I just put a sign up there by tape, and I said, please don't turn the thermostat to, no, if you turn the thermostat to 75, the heat goes off in my apartment, a concerned tenant. Then I said, well, I put that up there, and I don't know whether or not the landlady, you know, it's okay with her. So I asked, she said it was okay. So when I went up there to retape it, because I noticed the tape was coming off, and that's when I saw the lady that lives right up there in that apartment on the second floor, and she said they're not going to pay it any attention, just like that. So it was nothing really strange at that particular point about her, except when I came down, she said the MF better not mess with me and stuff. So I asked the landlady, what's all this about? She said, that's the lady on third. You know, she always turns the heat off and it goes off. The lady that's always turning the heat off in her apartment when she get hot, and the third is always complaining about her virus. Nobody likes her, you know. And needless to say, not toot my horn, the God bless me to find favor. And so little did I know is that the landlady was going to put this thermostat in my apartment. I woke up one morning and I found this woman. She was running the people away when I had awakened. So then she told me later on that she was going to put it in there. So she put it out in the hallway. No, she put it up there, another one by the ladies. It was a digital one by her apartment. And her friend said, well, I guess you have to use a broom to control that. So she broke it. Then they put one in the hallway with a glass around it. She broke it. So then the landlady told me, don't tell anybody. I'm going to put it in your... I'm going to put it in your apartment. I'm going to put it in your apartment. So she did. To make a long story short, I began to go through many different changes. I would get home, and I would find that there was white powdery substance on my floor. I'd take off my shoes and dance in it, did a little holy dance, because I know the scripture let me to know that I have the power over Satan and all of the work of the enemies, and nothing by any means shall hurt me. I have the power to tread on scorpions and all the work of the enemy, and nothing by any means shall hurt me. So I would not only find the powdery white substance on my floor, I would find in my bathroom, my shower would be wet and dripping when I would come home, and my shower curtain would be wet. I found axle grease on the walls of the bathroom tile. Oh, my God. I found my bed had been slept in. I guess it sounds like the Three Little Bears, huh? And so it was like gritty substances in the bed. The microwave was cooked in. Popcorn was found in. I never cooked popcorn in it. And then I also found a very black.
I have no idea what just happened.
Sure. Hold tight and make sure you got your weapons in place. No. You're live on Nocturnal Frequency Radio.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I'm listening to Talk Frequency Radio, right?
Sure.
I had tuned in earlier, but I think I had tuned in to the other person. Is it the same number for everybody?
No, it's a different number. You're actually calling it a different number. This is a 1-800 number that you've got.
Oh, okay. So it seems to like. Oh yes, I'm listening to myself now. Okay. Okay. So what I'm doing is I was listening to one of my recordings of supernatural recordings of some things that was taking place in my home. I have recordings of evil angels going in my purse and
you might want to turn down your radio.
Oh, I turned it down somewhere. Okay, hold on. Okay, I have recordings of evil angels going in my purse, unzipping it and everything, and snorting and growling and all. And I recorded tapes when I didn't understand. Okay, when I didn't understand the strange things that was going on in my house, I made a tape recording. The first one that I ever made, it was the growling of a beast. It went something like. A talkie growled like a cartoon. It went, oh, and then there was some chant like on Rosemary Baby. And then something so low and like, and all of that. And so I let my good friend, I called Mom, listen to it. She said, I don't watch pictures like that. And so I've been recording down through the years, various recordings. I accidentally recorded them walking along beside me. And they was breathing like that. And walking.
Folks,
got her again.
We don't make this shit up, man.
Where's the bishop when you need him?
We don't make this shit up, man. Those are the calls that we used to get on the show, man. Oh,
evil spirits going in my purse. What?
Oh wait, that's not. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see.
Wait, there's more.
Okay.
Good old days.
Hold on. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, this is literally. Let's see. I gotta find it here. Okay. What the hell is that?
Oh, that was kind of cool, though.
It did, didn't it? Where is it? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, here.
The coloring. Hello.
I am Joey Jackson.
Okay, hi Joey, how are you?
I took a shit.
Get the coloring. Hello.
I am Joey Jackson.
Joey Jackson.
Okay. Hi, Joey. How are
Oh, okay.
I took a shit.
This is I'm telling you, man. Some of the calls are classic. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Oh, where'd he go? Where are we?
I don't know.
Oh, I think it's down. Hold on. Where is it?
Somewhere.
Are you sure you're not home?
I'm trying to find the vampire one. Oh, here we go. This is Alex will remember this one.
We were paranormal before paranormal was cool. Yeah. Paranormal pandemic, paranormal realm, paranormal paranormal team, paranormal paralysis. Yeah. Paranormal investigators, paranormal unity, paranormal paranormal. Chris and I were paranormal before paranormal was cool.
There we go.
We were paranormal before paranormal was cool. Yeah. Paranormal pandemic, paranormal realm, paranormal paranormal team, paranormal paralysis. Yeah. Paranormal.
487, you're live on Nocturnal Frequency Radio.
Hey, how you guys doing today? My name is Mike. I'm from Macon. It's a prank caller.
What?
Just saying it. It's a prank caller. I feel you.
Oh, the chat thing.
Yeah, what did you have to say?
I just wanted to talk about apparitions I've been seeing in my house, but since you guys want to be fucking assholes about it.
See you later. 487, you're live on Nocturnal Frequency Radio.
Oh man.
Oh, God.
Classic.
There's just so many of them going back through the archives. I've got like literally hundreds of them, and these are like some of the. You can't make this shit up, man.
The paranormal with the paranormal sisters or whatever the hell they
Yeah.
were, was that all those?
That's how many times. So literally, I went through the show and they mentioned paranormal, the word paranormal. I don't know how many fucking times, but they had a. Their saying was, "We were paranormal before paranormal was paranormal."
Oh my god!
Before paranormal was cool.
Yeah,
like they were doing like not a stinger, but like an ad or something, like some radio ad, some promo clips.
Yeah,
and you're telling me that's literally from the whole show they were.
Yeah. That was from the whole show. Like literally, I went through the whole show, and it was like it is like 2 hours long, and they literally mentioned the word paranormal that many times. And I'm like, because I remember going, Alex, how many times do you think they mentioned the word paranormal? It's like I never wanted to hear that word ever again after that show. I'm like, we're not calling this a paranormal show anymore. Because we're literally paranormal exhausted.
Yeah. After that, yeah.
Oh my god.
Say paranormal 17 times fast.
We were paranormal before paranormal was cool. Yeah. Paranormal pandemic, paranormal realm, paranormal paranormal team, paranormal paralysis. Yeah. Paranormal investigators, paranormal unity, paranormal paranormal. Chris and I were paranormal before paranormal was cool.
Oh my god.
We were paranormal before paranormal was cool. Paranormal pandemic, paranormal realm, paranormal team.
They forgot what else they could have paranormal.
Here's one for you. This one's great. This is classic. This is, guys. This is one of the award winners. This is an award winner.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, caller.
Hello. Yeah. This is Justin from LCGH here.
Hey, Justin, how are you?
How you going? This is Steve?
Yeah, this is Steve. How are you?
How you going? Fine. Had a long day today. Dealt with baby.
Look how young you sound, Justin.
I wanted to comment earlier. Someone was mentioning about audio and how it's kind of inconsistent with questions and whatnot. And I just wanted to say that I agreed. Well, with a lot of other things in the whole investigating as well. Sometimes it's inconsistent with what's going on or what we are taught to believe this is how things are supposed to be done, or on that notion. And I just kind of wanted to see what you guys thought of that overall with using equipment and investigating places.
Man.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, caller.
Hello. Yes. This is Justin from LCGH.
That was Justin's first time calling into the show. That was like 2008, I think.
Jesus Christ.
14 years ago, man. 14 years ago.
Christ. Man.
You're still going through puberty.
Yeah. I
mean,
have a mic then. I was going off I think the phone at that point.
Well, there's this, hold on, there's this one here. Hold on. These are fun. I gotta have them, let's try this one. What's this one here? Here we go.
650.
Yes, my name is Bill, and I just wanted to warn you guys about this Insights with Michael. He likes to rape children, and you guys should stay away from him, okay?
Okay.
Open lines, yeah, definitely open lines, I guess.
Yeah, that's way too open. 650.
There's no fucking holding back with a lot of these, man.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on. Do you remember the vampire one, Alex?
Vaguely, man.
Let's see. Hold on. Where are we?
After 15 years, I can't even remember what happened last night.
That's me every day.
Yeah.
Where is it? Guy calls up. He's claiming he's a vampire. No, I don't have it. Oh.
I'm coming for you.
Here, this is another first here. This is the very first words of Dr. Demon Gord.
Oh, God.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God.
Let's see. Gord, why don't you take it away as our...
All right. I would be Gord Westwater, a.k.a. Dr. Gord. Pretty much my role in the group is to record for EVPs and somewhat spirit sensitive.
Wow.
Wow. Let's see. Gord, why don't you... Wow.
Quite a while ago, huh?
You still spirit sensitive?
Yeah, not really. No. Not more bitter sensitive.
And this is another first.
Here we go.
Alex?
Yeah.
Of course. It's gotta be me.
I have a online magazine. It's called Phantom Magazine. The URL is phantomezine.com, one word. Basically what we do is we try to have articles on there. Basically anybody can contribute articles as long as it falls within the lines of paranormal, the occult, esotericism, and whatnot. They don't have to be 100% grammatically correct, although I'll edit them myself as best I can. But the idea is to give voice to the average person who's had experiences with the paranormal and whatnot that other publications will not do, basically. And we try to also open everybody's mind to different possibilities. What my goal is to try to get people to think outside the box by having articles that ask questions in a different way or try to delve a little bit deeper. Okay, yeah, I have a online magazine. It's called Phantom Magazine. The URL is phantomezine.com, one word. Basically, what we discuss. Why don't we begin with the controversial orb topic?
Sure. Hey, what a way to start the show. Let's do it.
I thought we'd start with a bang.
Yeah, of course. Well, go ahead, Alex. Orbs. What do you think they are? Discuss.
Why don't we begin with the controversial orb topic?
Oh, man.
Fun times.
This is what happens when you go into the woods with other bald men.
Yeah.
My dick.
I literally have hundreds upon hundreds of hours of shows to still go through, but you know what? There's just so much material there. And a lot of it, I've been slowly getting up onto YouTube into the Nocturnal Vaults. I mean, there's some classic shows there, including a lot of the dark discussions that we had. I've listened to them over again, and I'm like, wow, 3-4 hours long, man.
Yeah.
You're like, wow.
Yeah.
But the discussions were they were incredible.
Yeah.
The topics and the theories that we threw out there. Really good shit. And a lot of stuff that I think was a first back then.
Yeah.
Not necessarily being done back when we were doing it. Now it's all the time. Everyone's doing it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But no, I kind of think that we're kind of treading on new ground at the time when we were doing that.
It was. I feel it was. Even some people talking, they're like, they've mentioned, "Are you still on that blog talk?" And I'm like, I haven't done that.
Yeah.
It's like, but they remember that.
It was great. It was great in the sense where, we could, okay, well, I'll end my 2-hour block here. Are you going to start right away? Yeah. Okay. Let's jump over to Justin's channel and we'll go for another 2 hours.
It was a good community. And I always remember that. Just seriously, just everyone coming up from that. I mean, there's still people. Well, I guess there's not a lot from that crew in a sense that's out there right now. We're literally like the last, when you think about it, we're like the last alums of that era of Blog Talk. Seriously, there's no one else I barely remember that's even still talking about things now from that. What's his face? Michigan. Oh my God, I forgot.
Dino.
Yeah, Dino. He used to for a bit. Was still
Dino.
doing his thing.
I still have him on Facebook, and I talk to him every once in a while. Dino, and then Mars. You remember Mars?
Marcy,
Marcy,
Every
yeah.
time I still talk to her every now.
Gord, how did we meet again? Exactly. Do you remember?
Somewhere around one of our message boards, probably.
What's that?
Somewhere on one of our message boards. It could have been Mags. It could have been yours. It could have been the Shadows Project.
It might have been the message board, and I remember inviting you guys on the show. And I think this was before we hadn't even met. I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
And I invited you guys on to the show, hence the audio from earlier. And then I think that's when we started to
joint investigate.
We did places like obviously the farmhouse you guys were doing, and the
DQ house.
The DQ house, that cemetery by the Blue Ghost. What was it?
St. Peter's.
St. Peter's. I remember going out there with you guys. Yeah, and you guys came out to DeForest once or twice.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Holy crap. Yeah. That's geez.
Memory.
What's that?
It's memory.
It's amazing how things have changed. The landscape, the paranormal landscape has changed just in that. I mean, we're talking about 13 years now,
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
13 years. And actually even older, even longer, probably closer to maybe 18
Well,
years
let's
ago.
not influence just how old we are. Let's move on from there. Move on to a couple days. Moving on.
What's that?
Let's not promote how long we've known each other. It's too long.
But it's just it's amazing how the landscape has changed. I think I don't know. I really think differently of the paranormal now, more so than ever. Much more than I did when back then. What the heck was that? Ooh. I don't know. Are you guys the same ballpark? I mean, you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
I mean, what do you think? Why do you think that is? I mean, was it just because of the experience that you guys got under your belt? Like,
I think so. I mean, I wish I had that innocence when I first started, where you're just going to the one story you just heard about, and you're arriving there, and it's like your first few times there, or your first few times actually getting involved. Now it's like this despite, or I should say not even despite, but just the things that I did in some of my cases is probably not going to change that much, like videotaping people sleeping, stuff like that, because that's just part of the thing. But just
Yeah.
that spark that it used to be, after a while it's like I can't believe every psychic anymore. I can't believe every group that's out there, because everyone now has YouTube or Instagram or TikTok under their belt, and the content that I see out there is so quick now. And speaking of the landscaping, the media itself has changed. It's not, even us doing this, as I always state, is very rare in itself, because everything's promoting something, or it's told in like a creepy pasta type thing. You don't really discuss things anywhere. It's packaged nicely now, so you can go and share the video and be gone with it. And now it's just this, story to be.
well, that's the thing. I mean, it's easy enough to edit something and plaster it up, and we could easily do it. But I mean, I find a format where you involved several other people, maybe a guest or whatever, or several people, or just anybody that wants to come on and share their story. I mean, I prefer that. I prefer hearing, because those are the things, the aspects that you don't hear on an everyday basis.
Yeah.
Where if you have a guest on, they're repeating what they've talked about 50 million times on different 50 million different radio shows and TV shows and whatever else.
Yeah.
Right. And well, hey, guess we're having blah 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 on the show, and they're going to talk about blah blah blah. Oh,
They're gonna sell their book, or whatever. Or
but I've already heard about this. Do they have anything new to say? It's it's just it's really tough to find something that is very unique in the paranormal now. It really is.
Or just to stand out in some way, because even if we did something now that's not, that's just blanket paranormal, it's just going to be like everything else. We would have to do something completely different, or in some cases, maybe your little rumor story, that in a documentary. Otherwise, everything else is like we've seen already. That's why there's one reason why I've never really got into the film aspect of things, because there's so many. For me personally, the stories that are around here maybe need to be told more, but there's still tons of YouTube channels and already podcasts that talk about the same stories that I've, you know, how many, although we have had our experience at Waverly, and
Mhm.
I think what we take away and what we talk about most definitely is different. But
Yeah.
how many people have talked about Waverly? How many times has that been well, at least during a time period when it was popular, but it was the height of the thing, the site where you never heard, where they tell you the whole story of what's going on and what the tour before saw you, and they're
Mhm.
telling you these things as where you have to learn about the ghost stories and whatnot through someone promoting it or something like that. That's very different, but it's going to be harder now to even do something because in some sense, it's already been done. We got to do something different or go about a different take than what we've been doing already. If there is to be something new to the whole media genre, paranormal media genre.
Yeah. 2007
Mhm.
is when I started the project. I want to do this because I want to see where this goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I started in 2007 because roughly the reason why was because I was finding a lot of people. Okay, there was a lot of websites out there at the time that were look at go here. This is notoriously haunted. There's all the myths and legends behind it, and the experiences. And look at I've captured 50 million orbs and 50 million photos.
Yeah.
And this place is haunted, and it's like this. The truth. What is the truth behind this? Is there
Yeah.
any truth? Is there any truth behind this? And I was thinking to myself, I said, you know what? I can make, find a location and make something up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to see where it goes.
Yeah.
And sure as shit, it didn't take long before you sort of pushed it out there a little bit at a time, and it flourished.
Yeah.
Right. And then it ended up on Urban Explorer websites.
Mhm.
I seen some posts on Urban Explorer websites about experiences they had because of so and so. The legend behind this place.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a really good experiment.
So.
And over a decade in the making when you think about it.
Yep.
Seriously. And that's something to talk. That's something seriously to work.
15 years.
Yeah.
I there's been several times I've wanted to say something, but I'm like, no.
Let it keep baking.
Just let it keep going. Let's see how long this goes and see what comes out of it. It's an ongoing project and experiment, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's much like, well, it's not entirely like the Philip project. I mean, the Philip project is making up a ghost.
Literally, yeah.
Creating a ghost, where this is just creating up an
urban legend.
An urban legend
Yeah.
behind the location.
Yeah.
And seeing what happens. And the claims that people make. I'm sure there's probably a lot of people out there that are doing this, that have done it.
Yeah.
And there are shitloads of locations out there that have no backstory to them at all, at least real. Right? That, mostly made up. It's like a group going into your house and telling you that your basement is fucking infested with demons.
It's the doorway to hell.
Yeah. So, but anyways, I think we're gonna call it quits. I want to thank you both for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Next week, we're doing a Halloween special?
I'm sure we will.
Sacrifice, a goat sacrifice.
Yes, a goat sacrifice live here on Nocturnal Frequency Radio. And we're capturing live on location with Justin Villarreal.
Be ready.
You ever seen that movie Visitor Q?
No. Now I got to find it.
You gotta find it. Watch it.
Well, when did it come out?
2002? 2000. Oh God.
2000. Oh
2002?
God, that's a good
Huh?
year. 2000. Oh God, that's a good year.
Early 2000s. Takahashi Miike, same guy who directed Ichi the Killer.
Oh wow, okay. Then I most definitely got to find it. Yeah.
Check it out, man. It's about one of the world's most dysfunctional families.
Oh Jesus, that sounds like a porno that came out last year.
It is fucked up. It is so fucked up. It's a mind fuck.
I'll keep it in the family.
It's
What's that? Visiting Q?
Visitor Q.
Visitor Q. All right.
Takahashi Miike.
Okay.
I'm sure there's websites out there that have the full with English subs. Check it out. Really good movie.
I can't.
Really mind fuck.
I can't wait.
Guys, keep an eye out for what's going on for the Halloween special. We'll figure it out. We kind of had something in the works, but unfortunately, that it's not going to happen that way. Yeah, maybe live on location. Live on location.
I'm telling you, sacrificing. Come on, Alex.
From the haunted yard in the front. I'm going to plop down my creepy ass desk.
Why not?
And sit in the graveyard out front.
And then you can get people coming by, and you can interview the people coming by.
Interview fake trick or treaters on Devil's Night. live from Devil's Night.
Might someone burn it down?
And then all of a sudden, some fucking crazy mofo fucking drives by, stops, and look at cameo by Dr. Demon Gord. Where's my pumpkin beer?
Yeah, that sounds all right. That's accurate.
All right, guys, have a good one, eh?
Good night, everybody.
Take care. Thanks everybody for watching and tuning in. Well, we're no longer on New Visions, but thanks everyone, and we'll see you next Sunday night. Take care.
Night.
Later.